Welcome to the Vortex, the space where we talk about sports, history, and culture. So I'm watching this segment here on the Dreamers Pro Show. Shout out to him. And of course, JJ Redick and LeBron James have a new podcast where they kind of go into the intricacies of the game, if you will. And it's interesting. They're on a segment where they talk about the most influential players, and they talk about James Harden and Steph Curry and a plethora of other players. And Michael Jordan is almost like an afterthought. And it's like LeBron James criminally wants to kind of erase Michael Jordan out of that conversation. So let me just remind him and the people, the LeBron James fans, those of you maybe of a younger generation who are not aware of the impact of Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was the first player who was able to impact the game as a wing. All right, the conventional thinking at the time in the 60s and 70s, even before that, was that you needed a big man to win. The Will Chamberlain, the Kareem, the Bill Russell, you always went through the big men. Michael Jordan changed that single-handedly, where a wing player could be a player that brings you a championship, that brings you to prominence. He did that. We can talk about his game, the style, the swagger, the fundamentals. Of course, somebody that played in the air and the impact that he had globally on the game. Again, Larry Bird and Magic took the game to national prominence. Michael Jordan made it global. And we can talk about his influence in the game, on the court, and outside the court. Everybody knows the Air Jordans. Everybody was fighting to get Air Jordan, still fighting to get Air Jordans. It is the most impactful sneaker in the history of sneakers. He has taken the sneakers game to a whole other level. And you can do that unless you perform. You can do that unless you have a transcendent game, which is what Michael Jordan had. So Michael Jordan impacted the game on the court and outside of the court. Steph Curry, I love Steph Curry, and he has an impact on the game, mostly on the court. But Steph Curry is not a player who had impacted the game the way Michael Jordan did. Michael Jordan not only impacted the game as a player on the court, but I'm talking in terms of his ability to build a brand. Michael Jordan was an entire business. He showed athletes that you can be more than just an athlete. You can become a business, right? In the word of Jay-Z, he's not a businessman, he's a businessman. That's Michael Jordan. Sponsorship, making more money off the court, being marketable, being in movies, commercials. This was Michael Jordan. There's nothing to talk about. There's no discussion. There is no room for any debate here. And for LeBron James to purposely put Michael Jordan as an afterthought in terms of influence, that's criminal. Like LeBron James should do jail time and community service for that. But of course, he had a podcast where he has a lot of he has some issues still with Michael Jordan and how he's perceived. I'm talking about LeBron, how people perceive LeBron. And he wants to make sure that he almost kind of take down or take some of the steam out of the Michael Jordan train. So again, this is not anything new, but it was kind of it was hard to watch this show. I watched some segment of the podcast, and it was really more of a way for them to sound smart and talk about how well they know the game and get really technical with some of the terms. as opposed to actually talking basketball. Details by Kobe Bryant was much better. He actually showed you using footage and tape what he was talking about, as opposed to trying to sound smart. Again, this is LeBron James doing LeBron James things, and it's not anything that we haven't seen. As always, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for watching the video. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.